On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Come on.
Let's rock!
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, guy next door.
Me, frequently a bridesmaid, but very rarely a bride, DK.
And me, wasn't even invited, Than.
How's that feel, Than? Huh? Bringing your somewhat regular double tap of all things Space Marines and Laserforce. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can hear us all good. Please let me know if you can't, because it's been a very hectic morning trying to make sure everything is working. So hopefully it is. Hi, boys. Nice to see you. How the hell are you? DK, I feel like it's been ages. I don't think I've seen you for ages and ages.
Well, it actually does feel like that. Like I legit have real regrets that I feel like I didn't spend nearly as much time with you during the week as I would have liked.
I had the same feeling.
I wish I would have stayed like an extra day, and even if I didn't partake in the dick gold with all of you, at least I could have like been present to socialize for the dick gold, you know.
Yeah, you always got to be present for the dick gold.
I mean, definitely the Laserforce community always wants more dick. That's accurate. Yeah.
And that's funny over. You know what that means? Time for the LFDGA PC. That's right. Hey, actually, Lenny, do you want to join me next week? We could finally do one. If you're keen, I'm keen. Let's finally do one.
You absolutely could.
Yeah.
You guys absolutely could.
Nice to see you all in chat.
Is he a back-to-back winner of the Dick Gold Cup? No.
Okay. No.
I didn't get any
we have a
updates on
new
that.
champion, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
All right, good.
There he is, right there. LFDGA. Right. So, I would echo your sentiments, DK. I felt like we had one good hug, and then we didn't really hang out. We had a brief like
Travesty.
probably 20 minutes at the awards dinner where we were hanging out in the back, which was really, really nice.
It was nice.
But yeah, I'm with you. I felt like I was like, fuck, I really wish like we'd have got to like have like an afternoon or like just a proper like this kind, like a yarn, like a pre-podcast yarn, rather than like, oh fuck, we're hanging out here. I guess we'll try and shoehorn in some catch up, but before they start giving awards and shit out, before people start drinking and whatnot. But yeah.
But you know, being Statler and Waldorf in the back during the awards dinner was also perfectly acceptable. So.
That's right. What are the names?
Statler and Waldorf, the two Muppets that
yeah.
are you know, the heckler guys.
I always try and make the reference, and I can never remember their names. And I'm like, you know, the old Muppets guys. Lucy, thank you very much. 61 months. Ahoy to you. Thank you so much. Boys, I have a new background, as you can see.
Obviously.
Yeah, Syracuse has kept me in the dungeon. We got lots to talk about today. We're gonna talk about lots and lots of stuff.
Really?
We do. Yeah. We won't fuck around too much. Stan, how are you, bro? I feel like we could have used some of you at Nats.
I mean, I've been told that once or twice. Yeah, things are still moving along. I'm still unemployed, but still in the running for a job I've been interviewing for. So I haven't been told to fuck off, you useless cunt yet. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's like I've already had the HR screen plus 2 more interviews, and now it looks like there was already going to be a 3rd interview that wasn't thank you, and now it looks like they're adding a 4th one to that, and it's like and I'm trying to get clarity if the one that they're adding is a replacement, because if it's replacing, okay, fine, and if it's adding, well, whatever, I'm not really in any position to argue about it. But for fuck's sake, I would just like to be fucking gainfully employed again, so I can actually, maybe, I don't know, travel.
I feel like we
Yeah.
have at least 2 amendments to the Constitution that prevent that kind of thing from taking place, but guess nobody follows the law anymore.
I mean, no, I think is the answer to that. So
yeah, who wants to do that? Clearly, no one in your country, especially when driving around New York. Jesus Christ, what a terrifying experience that is. If anyone,
yeah,
You're not meant to drive in New York. That is
Yeah.
Well, no,
clearly-
well, you're not. You're definitely not meant to drive in New York City. Driving, around New York City, perfectly acceptable. Driving in upstate New York, generally acceptable. But driving in New York City, nah, fuck that, mate.
yeah, fuck that, mate. Indeed. Yeah, I'm a fairly shit passenger as it is. Like I'm terrible at being a passenger because like I'm
True.
nervous and like it's probably the most anxious that I ever get is being a passenger in a car.
That's valid. Yeah.
Man, New York is
Hang on, Stevo. Do you perhaps have control issues?
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just a little bit?
We're gonna talk
and
about,
also ADHD.
yeah. We're gonna talk about some of those control issues in a moment. Look, I had a great week. Like I want to start off. I was supposed to get home in time today. Sorry for the late start to everyone. I had a birthday party to go to. We had fried chicken and waffles, vegan style. It's pretty good. But
Hang on, pause.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
I'm out. How the fuck do you do chicken and waffles vegan style?
With vegan chicken and vegan waffles. Come on, Than. It's the 21st century. Catch up.
Look, I realize that I live in Portland and, there's a lot of vegan cuisine here and sure, fine, whatever. But
it's very good. Like as someone who I've dabbled, I dipped my toe into the world of veganism, and I can honestly say it was pretty damn good. Chicken and waffles. Obviously, it's not chicken. Nothing beats fried chicken. But it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Well, when you deep fry anything, it tends to
help.
a lot of
Name a
things,
meat. Yeah. So apologies for the late start, first and foremost. The Nats was really cool. I really enjoyed it from my experience. Maybe actually we'll talk more from a player's perspective before I go on my rant. Busy week. Out of the three of us, only one of us played, and that would be you, DK. How do you want to start? Do you want to talk about your week before we get underway?
I mean, I can comment on like elements of my week as we go through stuff because obviously had a couple items on the agenda. In terms of like the player perspective, though, just to give an overview, though, like I've personally been having kind of a tough time since the week of the tournament.
Yeah.
As someone who's like attempting to give just as objective a view as I can, I think there's a really plausible argument to be made that this was maybe like the best Nats ever from a competition perspective. Any problems I had during the week, they had nothing to do with the tournament itself. Like I want to make that very clear that like the tournament itself was amazing. Like from a competition perspective, we had tied for the most teams we ever had. We definitely had the most players because several teams rostered more than 6 players. They were really competitive, really unpredictable games, which I am going to assume from the commentators and watchers' perspectives, respectfully, made it a little bit more interesting. They're like unpredictable games. There were different styles, like different teams had different styles, different ways they approached the game. There wasn't just like one standard move that every team did, and most games played the same way. So that made it a lot more interesting. There was a lot of bang for the buck. Like I think even though the tournament might have cost a little bit more than previous years, like on a dollar per dollar basis, I would argue you got way more at this Nats than probably
last year.
Honestly, certainly more than that. More than really most previous Nats that I can remember. At least compared to non-Syracuse Nats. But that's a difficult comparison.
Yeah.
There was planned socializing time. We had, the outing midweek. We had
taco truck.
Dinner we had the taco truck. We had plenty of time to like get ready for the awards dinner, that kind of stuff. There was no expense that was spared on the awards, that kind of stuff. So Sanch and Beans in particular, but also really Syracuse as a whole, and everybody who's involved in hosting should be really, really proud of the event that they hosted. Like
I agree.
it was really fantastic. There was a lot to do, and there was a lot of stuff that was offered to players. So I will try to get around to all of the thank yous, but certainly anybody who was involved in the tournament organization and administration, like you deserve tip of the hat, because that was phenomenal just from a player's perspective, from someone who was at the event. From what I am attempting to do as a neutral observer is just to say, like, yeah, a triple plus, not too many notes.
Make more lights
on
go
that.
boom.
Thank you, Blades. Thank you, Jackal, for the follow. Nice to see everyone. Good to see you guys. Welcome in. To your point, DK, I want to reiterate that this particular tournament, there was drama. There's drama at like most tournaments you go to, but the drama wasn't. The drama never leaked outside of the teams that had their own personal dramas. It was not like an underlying like stink, if you know what I mean. Like everything.
Yeah, there
like,
wasn't like beef between different teams.
That's
like,
right. Yeah.
Everybody had their own internal issues they were sorting, and I mean that just happens. But yeah, that actually was pretty good to see that it was like teams were happy to be playing with each other. There wasn't a lot of like, oh, better really make sure we ref this game carefully, because these teams they might really get into a fight.
Yeah. Nobody took it out on anyone else. Like it at least again from my kind of one step removed experience. Like it was such a strange experience for me this year, but we'll talk about that shortly. And I agree. It was probably the best like force tournament from a play perspective, quality wise, parity wise. I think the only like a glaring difference from this tournament to like a lot of the other ones, there was no, Brisbane in the past have sent, most of the time their teams that they've sent to a Nats have been very, very, very dominant. I would say, in previous years, they've always been pushed, like, again, like in Detroit. Detroit beat them, obviously. In Sacramento in 2017, you guys pushed them, but they usually feel like they are like maybe a step, or at least a half step above the other teams that are competing, especially like last year. Last year, they were just,
yeah, that was,
yeah.
There were no questions that tournament, like from day one, who was walking away with the trophy. Like, was down. And that honestly, that's been true of every Brisbane Nats I've been to. Is that their A team was going to dominate. There's a good chance they were going to win every game, or maybe they were going to drop an odd game somewhere, but like it wasn't really in doubt. But I would say pretty much anywhere else you go nowadays, like the home site has an advantage. That's no secret. For sure, you have an advantage as a home site, but it's not a give me. It is not a foregone conclusion that if you just play your normal relaxed game based on your knowledge of the arena, that you're going to come out on top. Like, teams are coming for you now. And like, if you don't put forth your best effort and you don't like play together as a unit, it's not guaranteed that you're going to win. So, I mean, like Syracuse hosted, they're the home team, they won, but like that wasn't a give me. So they should definitely be proud of their win, their performance, because like they had people nipping at their heels for sure.
From the watchers' perspective, because obviously I was stuck here watching and being very sad about it, like literally to the point, and I'm not ashamed to admit this, when the final played and and Syracuse A got their win, like I literally burst into tears, because like it just, it sucked not going. It was the right decision for for a variety of reasons for me not to go, but it sucked. It really, really did. and then to see, friends that have had so many, they've had so many asterisks over the years for things that have happened in their own maze and whatnot, and then to see them finally do the thing that they've been chasing really since the late 20 aughts,
Yeah.
like to see
2008,
them
2009.
2009, yeah. I mean, really, let's say since 2011 when they
Yeah,
hosted
when they
their
first
one,
hosted.
really.
Yeah, that's fair.
But to see them 15 years later finally, like, really officially get over that hump and get that win, it was it was it was a really cool thing to see. And like the bursting into tears about it was like, I was so mad that I wasn't there to be able to congratulate them in person.
Mm.
Because like literally that entire team, the most part, it's like it's all people that I've known since 2011. As to how much I've spoken with some of them, like Abby's not somebody that I've really spoken to since 2011, but at the same time, like, I remember her from 2011, and it would have been like really cool to be able to
Just a kid.
yeah, just a kid, yeah, would have been really cool to be able to like celebrate that with them in person, knowing how what a process it's been and how long they've been working towards it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my like end of week, like, god damn it,
Yeah.
moment.
Now, I'm
Yeah.
not one to say I don't think there should be any asterisks on any previous Syracuse wins, but like for sure, there's no like any plausible reason why there's any kind of asterisk on this.
Rusty wasn't there. Asterisks.
Fuck off.
That's his problem. Rusty can
Yeah.
have his 11th place trophy if he wants to pick it up right now. That's fine.
Now,
yeah.
now, with that being said about the final, oh my fucking god, like, yeah, watching the games that week was it was such an enjoyable experience from the watching perspective, because again, practical realities being what they were, there were two teams that were definitely multiple steps below everybody else. We knew it going in. All of our predictions reflected it. Like, that was what it was. Having said that, they may have started the week like, 3 steps below everybody else. They certainly didn't end the week there. So, progress. Maybe they ended it like a step and a half behind instead of, the 3 steps that they were when they started. Fine, whatever. But like pretty much every other game going into it, you could say, okay, yeah, this team's probably favored. This team's more than likely favored, sure. But there was a greater element this year than there's ever been before, with a greater percentage of the games where you could be like, well, yeah, this team's favored, but it
Who
wouldn't
knows?
surprise me if something happened here, and and the team that we're thinking is going to win doesn't. So yeah, that was supremely entertaining from a watching perspective.
Yeah, the grand final match, like that one, to me, from a rest perspective, like that one was an instant classic. Between the two games that were played, only a 5,000 point difference. So if we were to go back and like, we did our rankings of finals matches that ran up until, I think we did up to 2023. But if we expanded that list out to cover the last few years, that one's definitely going, if not an S tier, at least an A tier. Like that was a great finals series to watch. And like, I was going back through the numbers, and although Utah they never beat Syracuse A, but they got like closer and closer and closer and closer every single time they played them to the point that they kept it to a 5,000 point difference in the grand final. Those games were really on a knife's edge. So real fun to watch. Really impressive performance by Utah. I thought, like, I knew they were going to be good. They were definitely, I would say, even a step above where I thought they would be. Like they were tough.
Well, do we want to go into kind of the standings now, or do you want to get some of the overviews out of the way first? How do you guys want to do it?
I mean,
Let's do the standings.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
No.
Which apparently was not
preference?
where DK wanted to go.
Yeah. We can still chat. We could still chat about this, and then we'll get into the standings.
The order doesn't really matter. Like, I had in my outline, I was like, okay, stuff I want to make sure I talk about was like the tournament overview, which maybe we've kind of done that. Like, make sure that we have our thank yous and shout outs, and then like certainly the team standings, the individual awards, anything else we want to talk about. So we can go there. So yeah, let's go to the team rankings, because I mean we should. That'll give us natural segues and everything.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Well, I'll switch across to here because I screenshotted the image that you sent through. This was the rankings as we talked about in our build-up episode.
Right.
And I think from top to bottom it goes DK, Than, then Prawn Boy. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, it cut off the avatars because you don't need to double those up.
Don't need those. Yeah. So these are the rankings as the Resupply podcast put them out in the lead up, to the tournament. So I think out of like not only ours but like across the other two Laserforce podcasts or Laserforce Central podcasts that are out there.
Laserforce Cinematic Universe.
The multiverse.
I think Prawn Boy's predictions were the closest out of anyone. Is that correct?
Yes, because hashtag the prophecy was fulfilled.
I said this candidly a bunch during the week, and I'll say it officially on the Resupply podcast. Prawn Boy has very quickly become one of my favorite people in the tournament scene. I spent a week hanging out with the boys. We had an Airbnb together. We also had much merriment in New York City on the first night that I was there. I got off a plane. I stashed my luggage in the place I was staying, and then we went drinking, and we went drinking hard, which I haven't done at a Nats for maybe a decade. Yeah, yeah, it's certainly been a minute. We met a famous guy. That was cool. We made friends with another dude who like was aggressively affectionate, and I think he pinched me. He pinched me real hard. It looked like I had a moose print on the inside of my arm. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a very, very good time.
Sorry to hear about your moose knuckle. Moose print, sorry.
So, DK, do you want to run us through the actual standings? And we'll obviously, that would have been good to have the actual standings there, but whatever, fuck it. Just look at Prawn Boys.
Well, maybe if people hadn't been so selfish and gotten in car accidents on the bridge, then maybe you could have had time to prepare that.
I know, fucking Auckland traffic.
Selfish assholes.
What a bunch of dicks.
So, by the rules as have been established, where your ranking going into finals is the tiebreaker between teams. 10th place would be the Armageddon team. So even though they had a better record coming out of the first round play, they did end up losing to Expendables in pods. So they were technically the lower ranked seed. And even though they went out at the same time as Expendables, they were technically the lower ranked seed. So they were in 10th. Syracuse C, the Expendables, they were in 9th. Sweets and Savory, California B, was in 8th, again, by virtue of them being the lower seed, although they went out at the same time as Hybris. And it's actually, to me, kind of a shame that we didn't get to see one more match between them and Hybris. I think that could have been a really, really entertaining match.
Yeah,
they had to play that off. But California B, super solid. So even though I did predict them to come in 8th and they came in 8th, I would still say that they overperformed what I thought they were going to do.
100%.
didn't have really a ton of knowledge of the players other really than obviously Sweets and Ender, who I've seen play and were quite good. Other people had seen Spooky in some of the previous competitions or like stuff when they did events at Lost Worlds. I know she would play there, that kind of thing. But I really had no exposure to Spooky part of that. Really impressed.
Killed
Really
it.
good job. Really
Yeah.
good job, I thought. Not to step on the other categories, but Spooky did win Rookie of the Year. Very well deserved, I thought.
Yeah.
Not just because of the caliber of her play, but also because like she was called to play the heavy role, which is not an easy thing to do your first Nats, and especially in Nats at that level, and like really stepped up to the responsibility, really held her own, did very well in a lot of games. I was looking over the stats again. Technically, of all of the people who mained as heavy during the tournament, Spooky actually had the best hit differential of any of the regular heavy players. So
Really?
super impressive. I thought really good job by her, really good job by this team. So even though they were eighth, like they were like way a cut above the other two teams. Like, I'm sorry, the Expendables and Armageddon, like they were playing this. This was a experience based tournament. They were playing this to get some more reps in the system. They were aware of like they were be a little weaker than the other teams, but like starting really with California B, every team coming up from there, like they were all super solid. You really could not afford to let off the gas against them. So super impressive.
The Genin versus Hybrid, Genin versus Syracuse C teams, their matches were some of my favorite of the week. They're
really good,
awesome to watch. We take two teams that are on kind of that same level as each other. Yeah, watching them duke it out was really entertaining. And just as a side note, I think that California B team was maybe my favorite team at the tournament. Just off the back of the way they played, just how pleasant all of them were to talk to. Really stoked with the performance. And as you say, I think maybe not any other tournament, but like they played higher than eighth, if that makes sense. Their play was higher quality than an eighth place team, I thought.
It says more positive about the other 7 teams than it says anything negative about them, that they just ended up placed where they were.
Yeah,
and I mean,
exactly
that said,
right.
it was still the first Nats for a lot of those players.
Yeah.
So, right, it's hard to do well at your first Nats when there's so many powerhouse teams, especially like there were at this tournament.
Yeah.
Well, and to kind of go back, that's like when we were doing the prediction show and trying to put trying to put teams in places, I feel like one of the most common things that all 3 of us were saying, and by that I mean me, DK, and Prom Boy, since Steve-O didn't want to appear biased. Didn't want to appear biased because he's commentating.
I was just lazy. That's all that was. I couldn't be fucked.
I'm aware. I'm perfectly aware of what the actual reason
you know me.
is, but I do. Like every single one of us was very much just like, well, some team has to be in this spot.
Yeah.
And as each of us were putting teams in, especially in kind of this in like the 5, 6, 7, 8 spots, like I think all 3 of us were like, well, somebody has to go here, and well, it's you guys.
Yeah.
Like that's just how this goes.
Like you just have the most question marks, so that's where I'm going to slot you.
Yeah.
But a lot of those question marks, they were definitively answered by like, okay, yeah, you guys can hang. Like these are not easy gimme games by any stretch. And like Ebo, Mike, and Anchovy, they were still relatively new. A year ago, they have improved a lot since then. Like they're definitely tournament caliber players now. So there is a good pipeline of talent coming out of Southern California.
I was playing in the warm up, like in the practice days, and Anchovy hit me with a spin move. I was playing resupply, and he hit me with a spin move to like spin into the resupply and shoot me, and I was like, whoa, that was fucking awesome, dude. And then I remembered, I'm the medic, I should probably run away. But yeah, that was cool as shit. Chaser, yeah, exactly right. Calabi took a game of Utah in round 1, which was awesome. And Cody, which says even more about how competitive this tournament was. Yeah, exactly right. Like the quality of the teams was incredible. Like the parity
For
was
sure.
just insane. All right, who you got next?
So next up was Hybrids. So went out the same time as Kelly B, but had more points going in, so they were listed as 7th place. Again, wouldn't expect a team that has 2 Brisbane players on it to be getting anything below like podium, but that again is a testament to how solid the rest of this field was. Obviously, I know like they had some struggles like integrating all of their pieces. I thought they still did a great job. That everybody, once they kind of settled into a lineup that was more comfortable for them, I think they performed really well. They tried to play like kind of a modified version of the what I'd say is like the classic meta of Syracuse, but they were doing a good job with it. So I thought they were a solid team.
They so going in, they were supposed to have, and I want to preface this comment by saying I'm not taking anything away from anyone that played on that team during the week, but going into that team, they were supposed to have Baden, they were supposed to have Twin,
And Taipan at
and
one
they were
point,
supposed to
from what I
have
recall.
Taipan. You put those 3 on that team with the other 2 Brisbane players and Leach. Goodness me, that's a first place contender team.
Yeah, I mean that's at least a podium team. Like
100%.
again, I think like Utah was amazing. I think QA was an absolutely incredible team. Both of them, I think, definitely could have given that team some problems. And
Even one
I
of
mean,
those
I
players.
think we were a good team, but that would have been a very very different, very difficult team to play against. Because
Yeah,
like I thought Vulcan and Firesword, they've made a lot of improvements as well. They have definitely come along as tournament players, but like you're not Baden and Taipan, and
yeah,
they know
that's right.
that.
Yeah,
Like we're not telling them anything they don't know.
yeah.
But that's okay. Like they're still newish players. They'll get there. They're part of the kind of new gen of players. Like that's something else I felt like coming out of this tournament is I really am seeing like the new gen of players. Like people who I used to think of as being like the new players. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, no, they're experienced now. They're at least like they have at least like a generation of experience, and there is truly like a new wave of players that's coming in, and that's always cool to see.
It's cool to see it like several times over. Like, because to
Yeah.
me, in my mind, like Caleb, Josiah, Luke, like those were back then. They were the like, oh, they're the new school coming in. Not anymore.
Mhm.
They're now
Yeah.
the old heads of their site and are bringing in a bunch of new talent. So, but yeah, it is a shame that even just one of those Australasian players couldn't link up, because I think even having one of those players on there just dramatically changes the standings for this hybrids team. So should be proud though. Should be proud. Give them never place trophies. Yeah, DNFs. Yeah. All right. So that's the hybrids team in what, 7th?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So next up from there, it went out at the same time as another team, but next up is going to be Syracuse B, No Lives from Jackal. Came in 6th.
Good team.
Yeah, really good team. I had them pegged as 4th coming in because again, I think after the previous couple of years, you really shouldn't be overlooking home site B teams, and I don't think they should have been overlooked this year either. It's just there were a lot of really good visiting teams, and they definitely did suffer a bit from Zurg essentially being called into work for I think fairly long
Every day.
shifts before every day before the tournament started. So he had basically worked at a whole shift before he came to play. Like even if you're one of the best players that's out there, even if you're still fairly young and healthy as Zurg is, that's still a lot to ask somebody to come in and play
Absolutely.
at a Nats level when you're kind of that tired. So I think there were some mitigating circumstances for them. Nothing should be taken away. Like I don't want to say Jackal backpacked this team because that seems kind of offensive to the other players, but like Jackal was super duper important to this team and was the real anchor in like keeping their lineup steady together and keeping like the points output churning constantly. Now, a lot of the other players came along and were able to help him, but like one of the things you need to understand as a team is where your points are coming from, and you need to support your best player. And I think that was the role that a lot of people had when it came to Jackal, because Jackal was very impressive. Again, Jackal is, I would say, an A-team caliber player. Basically, only didn't play on the A-team because this was kind of like the Syracuse version of the Golden Oldies. They wanted to have a last ride together. Jackal could have easily qualified on a talent basis for that team.
Yep.
But it's cool. I mean, stepped up and really did lead the B team from the front. Like, led the way, led the attack. It was really good. Like, I think was either tied for or had the most nukes detonated in the tournament. So was doing a ton of work in the field. So impressive team. And didn't finish as high as I thought they would, but again, I would chalk that up more to other teams performing really well rather than like, oh well, the B team they really shit the bed.
Yeah.
Nah, they didn't. It just there were a lot of good teams. So maybe they were a little disappointed. It happens, but what are you
real good vibes with that team too. Like I was real impressed at the positivity that they kind of had around them. And again,
well, you got Stu and Fox. Like you're not going to have a bad time on that team.
But yeah, it was awesome. Like really cool to see them do well. They should be proud, I think. Most drama-free Q's team ever. Right, the 5th place team. Let's look at the top half of the competition. Who do we have in 5?
So in 5 was Loveland A. A is for altitude issues.
Man, this team, to your point, like you want to look at the future of Space Marines, the future of Laserforce. You don't really need to look too much further out from this team. They were really young, but I thought they played awesome. Maybe they were a little disappointed with how they played, but I thought they were pretty great. I
told Sparks and Azra in particular, but I would tell pretty much everybody on that team that I'm just like, your day will come.
Yep.
Your day will come. And it is maybe going to be here faster than anybody thinks, but like a lot of talent on that team. Sparks played really well. Comments about Rusty notwithstanding. Which I mean is mostly for fun. And again, I think it's good to have that confidence when you're Sparks' age, because I think he's like 17, I want to say. That was the same age that I was the first time I played Rusty, and I heard the same kinds of things. And that was before Rusty was like Rusty.
Yeah.
Like Rusty was still like he was a good Southern Hemisphere player, but he'd only played a couple of tournaments at that point too. And the only intel I had on him was coming from Than, and I was just like, yeah, I'm sure he's good, but could probably beat him. And
nope.
That was the first time in my life up to that point that I thought there was a better laser tag player than me, to be honest with you. That was like, I mean, since I like got good at the game. Yeah. But like after I started like being like one of the better players in Sacramento, I was just like, oh yeah, I think I can take on anybody, but it's at a different level, and it's good. It's good to get both kind of humbled when you're that age, but also to then like develop the fire to be like, I'm going to come back from this stronger, and I'm going to do better in the next tournament. I'm going to be ready the next time the opportunity presents itself. So I would just say that to any of like the good young players they have on Loveland A, not just Sparks, but I'm singling Sparks out in particular because, like, again, did a lot of work on the front end of that team, was one of their most impactful offensive players. I think Rooks did a really good job as sort of the attacking scout as well. Did a lot of damage, got a good number of meta kits for a scout. Just work on those penalties. Just work on those penalties, Eli.
Yeah.
But other than that, like good team.
It was a shame because obviously Sparks had the day that he had to sit out. It wasn't well.
Yeah.
And that could have potentially, swung a position or two. Like properly.
Possible.
But yeah, you never know. Like he's a good enough player to kind of have that impact. Whereas if he sits out, it is definitely noticeable. 6 of your 9 penalties were unassessed, by the way. What? does that mean?
That just means you ran away too fast before the rest could penalize you.
All right. Yeah, too
I don't know.
fast.
I don't know the circumstances of that. I honestly, I had no idea until the awards dinner, like who had the most penalties here.
Right.
But again, I didn't feel like there was a big problem during the tournament. It was like, oh, we really need to have a conversation about player X, Y, or Z getting too many penalties.
I mean,
Like,
to be fair,
I at least wasn't privy to
that conversation got had before the tournament with the person that it needed to be had with. So, you know.
I would disagree. Then, like going forward, I have a major gripe actually that I want to bring up with the tournament scene, but that's not a conversation for today.
Fair enough.
you can gripe on your own time then.
Yeah, it's definitely a discussion, but like it's a discussion that needs to happen like in its own, like, you know, in its own
right
set time.
Episode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because there are some people that I'm going after. So watch out.
Prepare to have shots fired.
Right. Anything else you want to say about this team?
No, we'll move on to the fourth place team who fulfilled the hashtag prophecy, Level Reloaded.
This team, and you'll be able to have more like first-hand experience with it because you were in the maze and saw it happen. This team played this maze in a way that I don't think many people have kind of seen. It's like an old, I got told it's a very old meta for playing this arena. And it kind of reminds me of like the aggressiveness of the aggressiveness of like a Brisbane team from back in the day. They played a style where we're going to come out, all six of us are going to play laser tag against you. And either we're going to kill you out or you're going to kill us out. Like that's the only way these games are going to go.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
kind of how
definitely
it felt?
Yeah, that was definitely their style, was just to be super aggressive early. And early didn't necessarily mean right from the get-go. There were definitely games where I saw them essentially give everybody like 2 taps of double resupplies like right at the start while they were still at the base, and then it's like, okay, you got a bunch of resources, go.
Yeah.
And their ammo would be fully engaged in the attack, would be fully a third scout, a third gun. The medic would just be, you know, moving from corner to corner trying to avoid getting hit. So it was a high risk play style, but it definitely caught a lot of teams off guard, including Loveland A when they played them. They took a game off of Utah like that. They might have even taken the match, to be honest, but they took at least a game off Utah from that. They took a game from Syracuse A that way too. Like if you weren't ready for that freight train, like you would definitely get run over. But super interesting, super unique style, I think. And I think I said it for the very brief time where I came on stream, and I definitely said it to Luke after the tournament, that I was like, it's like when you're at the bar and that might not be the biggest guy, but like you don't want to fight the crazy guy at the bar. And that's like what playing Level Reloaded was like. And it's like I don't want to fuck with that guy.
Yeah.
Like he could do anything. That team, and they really could do anything.
Yeah.
I think like we handled them fairly well. I think that is mostly because the style that we were playing was kind of tailor-made to beat a team that is using that kind of hyper-aggressive style.
Right.
Where it was sort of like a jiu-jitsu sort of like turn their own force against them kind of maneuver kind of thing. But like it still was not easy. Like you had to keep your head up at all times. And again, standouts from this team, like obviously like Luke and Josiah played a super effective resupply. Like as much as we were all saying before the tournament, like, why don't they play 3-hit? They should be playing 3-hit. They're the best players, et cetera, et cetera. Like based on the style that they chose, I can understand why they picked the roles that they did, and they did an outstanding job.
For sure.
Again, like I talked about how much Sabo stock I was buying before the tournament. The only time where I started to sell off some of my Sabo stock is when I saw him missile his own team. But you know, I had to take a short position for the rest of the day on that one. But there was also, we had a most improved award this year that was given to the player who has improved the most since their first Syracuse tournament. That ended up being Slaughtermelon. So I'm like, get out of here. We don't need more trophies for this man. Like he shouldn't be monopolizing all the trophies. But if there were like a player voted who was the most improved player since their first Nats or since the last Nats I saw them played, 100% would have given it to Lizzie.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, Lizzie absolutely crushed it on this team. And again, much like Spooky, had to do it in a role that had a lot of demands placed on her. Played a really, really outstanding heavy. If you look at the MVP rankings for heavy among the regulars who played it, Lizzie was second behind Snuffle. So ahead of Black Hammer, ahead of Odin's Fist. So the two heavies that was in most contention with, like, at that tier of play, Lizzie had a better MVP on a game-to-game basis. Now, does that mean like she's a better heavy than those two players? Not necessarily, but like, again, had an outstanding performance during the week. I think was super, super cool to see that, especially since I know there was some issues last year and she definitely didn't want to get like pigeonholed as a resupply player.
Yeah.
That reputation should definitely be removed now. Like, Lizzie's going to be in contention to be playing, you name it, 3-hit scout, whatever. Like, really good, really solid, really versatile player. Really impressed with how Lizzie did this tournament. I would say, like, if she wasn't the MVP of the team, it was like she was like the player that I don't want to say surprised me most, because I knew Lizzie was a good player already, but like really, really elevated play, even higher than I thought.
Good comments in the chat. Chaser said it was the team that he's most scared to play against. I can understand why. It's like berserker shit, you know. Didn't Lenny made you incredibly jealous. That's how your original team played when you first started playing. You started your career as battle medic. Yeah, I think that's the only reason why. Like I was like, oh, you know, it's not something that we've really seen before. And like I had a couple of the old heads from Syracuse being like, no, this is how we used to play our arena, was this style. I can't imagine having two teams do that shit is anything sane people do, because like as we were watching the games play out, you'd be 5 minutes into the game and Fair Turkey's lost over half of his lives, but they were still like battling it out. So yeah, it was wild to watch those games and see, like, you know, see them. It felt like they were getting beat, but then all of a sudden the other team would be dead. You were like, what the fuck happened? Like, what are you doing in there? I also want to say very disappointing that I believe it was Luke played a 3-hit game. You swore. You said.
I think Josiah did too.
Was it Josiah? Either way.
I think it was Josiah.
They said no way.
A 3-hit game.
Yeah, they said it was no way it was happening, and they lied right to my face, and I take that shit personally.
What a bunch of frauds.
Yeah,
what a bunch of frauds.
Yeah,
it's because they're lying liar faces who lie. I mean, come on.
Stupid jerks. Really awesome to watch that team play the way they did, and like I was kind of surprised because they were like, they played against you. They played both threes against us. Or because you said on Luke's pod that you could see them doing it once just to throw someone off. Jerks. Bloody jerks. Are you right there, mate? What are you, me? Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. It's all right. I got distracted.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Imagine that.
Yeah, I'm sorry that, you know, Malcolm decided that he needed to use me as a jungle gym right at that moment when you were looking at the camera and you're like, oh, look, cat.
Yeah, it was mostly the sound. The sound got me. Yeah, that's all right. It was probably not that insightful anyway. That's what it was. So it surprised me watching the way the week kind of played out, that this Syracuse B team was getting their asses kicked by the Syracuse A team in the lead up to this Nats. They said that the A team. Huh?
You mean Loveland?
What did I say? Syracuse? Sorry, I meant Loveland.
Syracuse.
Fuck, I'm all over the place. Loveland. These two Loveland teams, I would have, you know, like they took the moniker of the B team, but I think that's, I don't think that was necessarily like a reflection on, much like the California A versus California B, I guess. Like, yeah, it's just like
other than Luke and Josiah, you could definitely say that they were the less experienced team as far as things go, because multiple of them that have played Nats, but like Carson and Silly B have not played a Nats. I think they had only played the one random drop tournament they had in Loveland. So they were the newer, quote unquote, team. So if that's how we're deciding A and B,
Sure.
that's
Yeah, fair enough.
the moniker. But yeah, but it's one thing in your home field. In a new field, all bets might be
Yeah,
off.
that's where I was going
they
to.
played such different styles.
100%. Like it was really interesting and kind of cool to see that play out that way. Like you take two teams out of a site and you put them in a neutral arena, and then you see how they go up against each other. And it was cool to kind of see that play out. So that's where I was going with that. We got there in the end. They were actually a better team when they were on resupply, though. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, I agree as well.
Yeah. And it kind of threw it in the face of all of us talking heads who were like, what are they doing? Because I knew I had something to say about it. I was just like, what? Why are you doing that? Like, why are you diluting the talent pool? Blah, 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 blah. But I think, like, they showed us that we were wrong. Like, well, I was wrong.
Like, having said that, if you took, like, obviously, if you really wanted to do the best 6 players from Loveland, like, you would put Luke and Josiah on the quote-unquote A team. If they had made a traditional quote-unquote A team, would they have been more likely to get a top 3 spot? Yeah, probably. But the fact that they had 2 teams of Nats caliber players and they managed to get 4th and 5th, so just outside of the top echelon, like, that's pretty good. They beat, the non-finalists, and they beat Syracuse B. That was a really good team. So, right, I think
was a really good team.
Deserve their props.
Yeah, I agree. It'd be cool to see them. Going forwards, it'd be cool to see both those teams kind of go to other tournaments and continue playing as like teams. I don't know if that'll be the case because I imagine that a couple of the players will stop or they'll get new players or whatever. But it'll be cool to see them like flourish as like, all right, we have the same lineup now for like 3 years. Because I don't think that's something that we really get to see outside of Brisbane, and then even then.
Well, one thing Mischief and Fear Turkey mentioned to me too is that part of the goal with this was to kind of like elevate some of the not even newer, but newer to like middling levels of experienced players to get them to just kind of accelerate their growth and their talent. And if that was the mission, I would say that they succeeded because their players learn a lot. Like, again, Carson and Sully B, it was their first Nats. They did a pretty good job, I would say. Like, they definitely have made improvements since the random draw. And this was their first away tournament.
Absolutely.
So that's a lot to deal with, right? It's always a big question mark for players their first away tournament. How much are they going to be able to handle adjustment to a new maze? Because I've seen it happen all over the place. I've seen players who are great in their home sites go to a new arena and completely fall on their face.
Yep.
And like every site practically has a player like that. So it is not guaranteed that just because you're good in your home field that you're going to be good somewhere else. And like I thought most of them made pretty good adjustments because Syracuse and Loveland are not very similar fields. So that was a big kind of gear shift.
One thing I would, just as a general statement, one thing I would kind of hope to see happen is going forward, maybe because there was a couple of instances of things that happened from this team specifically, a player on this team giving up in a game. And we found out afterwards that it wasn't necessarily as simple as that. But I would hope that this becomes a learning experience into doing enough work on one's mental state before you compete to make sure that you can kind of minimize any of that stuff happening again. I was pretty vocal about how I felt about people giving up in games on the stream as it happened. Because it's something that really makes me angry when that happens, because I've had it happen to me before. And it kills me. So
it shouldn't happen at a members night. It absolutely should never happen at a tournament.
That's right. So hopefully, and if it's the benefit of the doubt, if it was like some extenuating circumstances or not like prepping properly or whatever the case is, I would implore players in general to really make sure that you're that you're eating correctly throughout the tournament, that you're getting enough rest. Like we talk about Nats being like, oh, it's party time, blah blah blah, and yeah, to a point, but
But
you still need to
yeah,
look
but
after
nah.
yourself.
Try to grab a few hours of sleep a night.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
if you
but
can't
nah.
have it both ways, like if you're not in a position where you, oh yeah, cool, I'm gonna stay up and do all the social stuff and blah blah blah, but then it means that I'm not in a good mental state the next day. Priorities are the tournament. Like that's the priority. Make sure that you're doing right by your team, by the other people in the tournament, by the organizers, by the community in general, and make sure that you're approaching the week properly.
Yeah. Like Nats is a stressful situation. Don't get me wrong. Like it is.
It's brutal.
On the scale of things that a lot of us face, it is. Even though it's a fun activity, it's still stressful. Like, like I'm not saying it's not like being in combat. I'm not trying to say, like you're not risking your life or anything like that, right?
Look,
But
stress is stress.
In a competitive situation, you are risking your pride, and pride is a terrible thing to take away from another person.
Yeah.
And like that's why things like sportsmanship are important in recognizing the virtues of your opponent, so that when you lose, you can suck it up and say good game, and when you win, you can be magnanimous and respect your opponent because they stood on the field with you. Like they still tested themselves. They were willing to accept the outcome. Like that's what keeps like the joy of the game alive.
Yeah.
Is having that element of sportsmanship and that recognition of this is a competition, we're here to have fun, and ultimately like you pay that respect to your opponents.
I talked about it before about like learning how to lose properly. I think that's a really important skill to know how to do. And so I got met with a little bit of backlash from that from some people, like, oh, that's a loser's mentality. It's like, no, it's not about you know, like I expect to lose or anything like that. It's about when it happens, it doesn't shatter my entire world. It doesn't like make me, you know, like violently lash out or emotionally lash out at other people, or you know, like none of that. You have to learn how to handle like the tough stuff properly, so that to your point, DK, like it makes you a better winner. Because if you know how to lose properly, then you know that if you're a dick in victory, then that puts the other team in like a really bad mental situation. So
yeah, and it's going to make it that much worse when you lose because people are not going to be sympathetic to your plight.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn how to win at the highest levels, you have to be okay with losing because you're probably going to lose a couple of times on the way to getting there. It just again, even Rusty doesn't win every single tournament.
Yeah.
Like it wins most of them, sure.
Yeah.
But you're not going to win every single time. And so you need to be able to do that. And it's only a loss if you don't learn from it. Like turn that L into a lesson, kids.
Yeah. L for lesson.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn.
Anyway, all right. Old men getting off their soapbox. So we talk about the top three.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of how to lose gracefully, let's go to my team. So like I want to make clear off the bat that I'm not upset about the placement. I'm not upset about losing. Losing I can handle. That's fine. What I've been having trouble with really since term is I feel that I failed as a captain and as a leader. I failed to solve some communication issues we had on the team. I feel that I failed to make some proper adjustments, especially as we were moving into finals, to kind of the way that we were playing. I feel like I failed to lift some people on my team up, and I failed to to delegate when I needed help with things, and I didn't like communicate that to other people. So I accept responsibility for anything that went wrong. I think that when you are in a leadership role, when you're a captain, like if you're going to accept some of the responsibility, that means that you also have to accept the blame when you
Things
lose,
don't go right.
when things don't go right. And sorry, welcome to DK's therapy hour. Anyway, all right, I'm good.
It's all good, bro.
So I don't just want to dwell on that though, but again, like to my team, like anything that went wrong, I accept the blame for that. Like, don't blame yourselves. I will take the responsibility for that. But I do think that we do have things to be proud of as a team. Like we beat every team at least once. Like we beat Utah. We took a match from them, crucially, like on Friday night. That was probably our high point in the tournament for sure. We took like a game off Syracuse, and we didn't drop any games to the teams that were ranked below us. And most other teams can't say that. So I have an enormous amount of respect for the teams that finished ahead of us. So the Utah Heatseekers, Hidden Valley Sanch, they were fantastic teams. Like there's no shame in losing to those teams. They're great teams.
Yeah.
And it might be like, this is where we were supposed to finish. A lot of people were ranking us to come in third during the tournament. Like, that's fine. I respect that. That was probably accurate. So maybe we're supposed to finish here, but I still feel that I let my teammates down, and that's just a hard thing for me to deal with. And this is just me processing. Like, I'm not playing for sympathy. I'm not trying to beg chat for reassurance. So like that's not what this is. I have very high standards for myself as a player. And when I'm called on to be a captain, and I feel how I feel. I feel like I fell short of what my responsibilities were. And that's something I just have to process.
Well, so like both of you are in a fairly unique position on this, because you've both been on teams that I've captained, because I've had you basically as my vice captain on pretty much almost every team that I've captained.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually now that I'm thinking about it, I think literally I think every team that I have captained, one of you two has been the vice captain, with the exception of some very early Sacramento Nats.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So I do definitely understand what you're saying here when you're like, something that doesn't go right, and you're trying to like think back to like, okay, what could I have done differently to to impact this, to impact that, to do this, that, the other. And sometimes when you're working back through it, and this was one of the hardest things for me to come to terms with as a captain, is sometimes you work back through it, and at each inflection point you go, okay, what did I know at that moment? Okay, based on what I knew at that moment, could I have made a different decision? And when you start kind of working through that, and like, no, the decision I made at that point with the information I had, that was the right call with that information.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hard part is like, it's like, oh, but X amount of time later, I found out this piece of information, which would have totally changed whatever decision I made at that point. And there's always the temptation to be like, oh, well, if I had just been psychic and known that piece of information, that much sooner, I could have made a better choice. But that's not the reality. The reality is, the things that you know at the time that you know them, and you make the best decision possible in that moment based on what you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel fairly qualified to make the statement just for how long I've known you for. I'm confident that the decisions you made in the moments based on the information you had were the right decisions. Sure,
and even
maybe
if they
you found
weren't,
out
you're not perfect. Like nobody
No,
is.
certainly not. Nobody is.
Like people fuck this shit up all the time.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, like, again, I feel like I kind of had some tunnel vision, blinders on. I was like so focused on task at hand that, again, my other regret from the week is, I don't feel like I had enough time like to socialize with you or with Beans or Josiah, like some people that I've gotten close to over recent tournaments and stuff like that, or people I've been on teams with in the past, and just I didn't really get a chance to hang out with them. So I don't know. I almost feel like I was like sleepwalking through part of the week, and part of that has also had to do with I never really felt that I had a defined role on the team. Partly as a result of us rostering 7, and I was kind of just like plugging the gaps of whoever was sitting out. I'd kind of just take their place or do what needed to be done, which is fine. It was actually interesting getting to play 4 different positions over the span of the week. I mean, that was kind of
Absolutely.
interesting. But you know, I didn't really get, I felt like, into the mindset of any one role and figure like this is the best place for me. And partly I was trying to focus on like other players are doing their role really well. I don't want to like take them out of their role and undermine their confidence or make them do something different. Like I need to figure out what to do. But that just kind of happens. Again, like I certainly don't regret playing with anybody that we played with. I wouldn't want to have wanted to like kick anybody off the team, but rostering 7 was a challenge. And it unfortunately, like it's one of those things that it just kind of confirms my fear of like why I don't really like rostering 7 to begin with, and probably would not advise it in the future. Now the reasons that we did, again, like fans said at the time, you have to go off of what information you have. And we had a lot of contingency to deal with. Like we had no idea really until the week before the tournament if Dill was even going to be able to come. So it's like, it helps to have an insurance policy there. So again, I have no regrets about like who we had on the team, but it made it that much harder since we don't play on a week-to-week basis with one another. It was that much harder to develop like a rhythm and figure out what our best lineup was when we had to, you know, be swapping pieces in and out. But like I said, I put all that on me as a captain and not like recognizing the situation at a given time. But again, I think that players on our team, they still played awesome. Like Kodama was tearing it up at Commander. Autumn was absolutely amazing, especially in the ammo role and in some really big key matches. I was finally able to bring myself to watch back some of the VODs that we had, because I did want to watch our game that we played against Utah in semifinals. So on the Friday night where we did beat them.
Yeah.
And I was glad, like Scythe even said it on stream, it was just like, Autumn is the MVP of this match and each of these games, because like doing so much in, you know, triple tapping their 3 hits after I died out of the second game, but there was still a lot of time left. Like her being able to reset Kodama and Odin shields kept them alive that much longer, meant that we were able to last out that game and win that match. So absolutely crucial. So super duper impressed with Autumn. Impressed with everybody on the team. I think everybody on the team did a great job in their role. And I have no problems with the way the all-star votes went. Everybody was a deserving recipient. I still feel like Dill kind of got overlooked a little bit, because like maybe he didn't have the biggest run in the stat sheet of getting a ton of MVP points every game. But if you rank scouts by hit differential, he had the second best hit differential of any scout in the tournament. And when I'm looking at scout play, I really rate that as an important factor. So lest he feel like he was kind of an unsung hero, like I really do respect a lot of the effort that Dill was putting in, especially because it kind of meant being less forwardly aggressive, which I think is the role that he prefers to play a lot of the time. So really good buy-in for the team, for the concept, for the way that we're trying to play. Because again, like every team had its own style. I very much felt that we sort of played a game that was based a lot more on field control, with the thinking that if you control the field effectively, because it is a small enough field, the opportunities for attacks will come, the meta kits will come. Like we will be able to eliminate teams. And for the most part we did, but in really getting into like the heavy hitters like Utah and Syracuse A, I do think that maybe should have reformulated that a little bit, just to kind of like dial up the offensive factor by like 15-20% to put a little bit more emphasis on making sure that we're attacking them. Because our strategy did work in a couple of key games, but it's like, but if you, against a really good team, if you don't really pressure their resource capabilities, like you have to play perfect the entire time, which on Friday night against Utah, we basically did. Like we did everything that we were supposed to, basically to a T, and we were able to just outlast them. But you can't count on that as a long-term strategy. And that we weren't trying to play well, we're not going to eliminate the other team. We're just going to point farm. Like that wasn't the point. The point was to like control things and just play it a little bit more slowly and under control to make sure that you're going to be able to outlast another team and not get taken out by some sudden swing of momentum. But that's again why I think that we were kind of like tailor-made to beat a team like Loveland Reloaded, whereas some of the other teams that were also very aggressive, well, if you overextend just slightly, Loveland Reloaded, they might just come crashing into you like a giant wave.
And that definitely happened more than a few times. And there were definitely some moments watching, those games where it's like, oh, it wasn't just like, oh, that other medic is dead, and Saya's still alive.
Well, I mean,
Huh.
just barely. He's on 4 lives. There's 9 minutes left in the game.
But that other medic's dead. Huh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, so
Yeah.
to your point, you know, we talked about it a bunch on the stream, like during the stream, that like I felt that specifically when you guys played Utah's
Mhm.
1-2 punch of Slaughtermelon and Snuffles was like probably one of, if not the most brutal 1-2 punch at the tournament.
It is. It's
but-
the
Fair,
most devastating weapon in the game today.
But when you looked at your team, if you have Kodama, Odin's Fist, Dill in that third role, and that's not to take anything out away from any of your other scouts, but Dill in that scout role, that 1-2-3 hit, I thought was a better combination than Slaughtermelon, Snuffles, and whoever else you kind of want to put in that scout role. So, I thought I think that sings the praises of how well Dill worked in conjunction with your 2-3 hits. Yeah, so it was definitely noticed. If not, on the All-Star or the MVP, but it was definitely noticed. Yeah. To be fair, Josiah was also killing other medics. He sure was.
Yes.
Do you have any
Only rush
final
everyone
thoughts?
forward.
Do you have any final thoughts?
No. To my teammates, I'm proud of you. I love you. I'm sorry I fucked up. That's enough about me. So.
All right, let's have a look. Number 2, Syracuse at no, just jokes. The Utah Heatseekers. Goodness me, what a final!
Yeah.
Oof.
Utah might not have the first place trophy, but I think we need to acknowledge that they are, I would say, the number 1 site in the country right now, because they've finished ahead of all visiting teams in back-to-back US Nats. Like, obviously they didn't have representation in Brisbane last year, but they were second in Loveland, they were second in this tournament, and that was, they did better in both of those tournaments than Loveland did in Syracuse, or Syracuse did in Loveland, et cetera, et cetera. So even though, like, right, those sites won and they're very deserving champions, I would still say, like, Utah's like the number 1 contender if they're not the champion, kind of thing. And like, they've decisively won the few events that they've had at their home field. When they actually all get to play together, like, they absolutely dominate in their field. No one's coming close to them. And all of them did their parts on this team. Like, so you mentioned obviously the 1-2 punch, but it wasn't just the Caleb Snuffles combo.
Yeah.
But like, holy shit, that's strong. But Meds and Chaser, super effective at resupply. They made I think the bold but correct decision to switch them from what their original positions were early in the week, because I think in a lot of fields that Meds is probably a better medic and Chaser's probably a better ammo, but in the field specific conditions of Syracuse, I think their strengths kind of made it so that Meds was the better choice at ammo and Chaser was the better choice at medic.
Yeah.
So good on them for figuring it out. I wish they hadn't figured it out. But,
Dude,
what happens?
Middle Face got better and better and better as the week went on.
Yeah, like, all of their scouts, they did their jobs to the point that they were more like interchangeable parts in a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
Their 7-person roster, they had a defined identity that some of the other 7-person rosters just didn't have. Like, it was very obvious, like, what their techniques were like, and it really didn't matter who you put at scout. And that's not to say that it's because like, oh yeah, they're all replacement level players, but they all understood the assignment. They all understood the game plan. So it didn't make a difference to me. It wasn't like oh good, we're facing Rockwood instead of Cope, or we're facing Metal Face instead of this other player.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like,
Nope.
they all performed their role that they were supposed to do. They had a game plan that was very aggressive. They stuck to it. They were an incredibly, incredibly good team. And like, the difference in them having those reps with each other and like my team that doesn't get to play on a week-to-week basis, that's where I think you see some of those things come out. And the other thing that I would say about like this team is looking at the voted MVP award, super happy for Snuffles that he got it, because absolutely deserves it. Snuffles deserves individual consideration, because I think people know that Snuffles is a great player, but so often I feel like the discourse is arranged around, well, Caleb and Snuffles, Caleb and Snuffles, Caleb and Snuffles. And Caleb oftentimes gets a lot of individual praise. And not that he doesn't deserve it, like fantastic player, but Snuffles deserves just as much individual credit, individual praise. They're both outstanding players on their own, but you put them together, it's not just the sum of their parts. Like they're incredibly effective, not just as individual players, but together. It is the best 1-2 punch that's in the game. It is the best thing I have seen since Rusty and Tragedy.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not joking when I say that. Like that was like the goated 1-2 punch and has, like 8 championships to show for it. But like the
this
Caleb
one's pretty good
Snuffles
too.
combo, yeah, it's great. And like Snuffles, I would say, was the player who produced, I would say, like the most fear in other players. Again, taking nothing away from Slaughtermelon, but like Snuffles at heavy, you don't want to fuck with that. Like the man, he's just fucking good.
Maybe we need to do a pod at some point. Best 1-2 combo, Commander Heavy combo.
That's a good topic
of all time. I mean, I think we've got maybe the 1 and 2 spots covered, but it'd be cool to kind of talk about some of the iconic ones that we've had in our history. But
absolutely,
yeah, maybe we'll pencil that in for another time. Yeah, awesome. Awesome to see them do well. I think if you're going to have like the model of, because I'm with you, I don't agree with rostering 7 people, but if you're gonna do it, they are the model of how to do it. Look at how they did it and copy that. And everyone needs to have buy-in. Everyone needs to have expectations set. Everyone needs to follow what the plans set going into the tournament have been. And because they nailed it. It was so good. And I think part of that maybe is like no one, like there's egos on that team, but it's not like
really.
But there's not it's not unearned
there
egos. I think when people talk about people having egos, the implication there is that it's unjustified.
And it's not insidious egos, if you know what I mean. It's not like they're not shitty egos.
Yeah. It's just confidence.
Yeah.
It's confidence that is earned because they've proven that they're excellent players.
Yeah, there's been a level of performance with those players across enough time where it's just like, you can't argue that Caleb is really good. You can't argue that Snuffles is really good. You can't argue that Meds isn't a good resupply. You can't you can't argue that with anyone that anyone on that team doesn't deserve to be there. The level of and like the level of improvement that Metalface and Rockwood have had over the past few years. I mean, they are
best I've seen Rockwood play, no question.
They are night and day players from when they first started. And that's always obviously the goal. Like you want people to have that sort of improvement to where you can go, oh, wow, like, X number of tournaments or years ago, you were getting turned inside out, left, right, and center, and you were fucking garbage. But now, like, you're doing the turning inside out, and that's it's painful if you're on the other end of it, but it's really great to see. So this was a team going in that, like, looking at this roster, I'm pretty sure I remember saying it during the prediction show that this is a team that is a team that synergizes well and doesn't really have any weak spots to pick at.
No, they had an identity. They stuck to it. It was very effective. And like I said, they corrected things when they went wrong. Like after we beat them on Friday night, they obviously had conversations about adjustments they needed to make and what they needed to do. Yeah. And it's interesting now having like made the podium in the last 3 years, but doing it in a couple of different ways. Like last year, getting knocked out of the winner's bracket, like having to go back up to the loser's bracket, I almost felt better like going into the last game than I did than if it's like you win that semifinal match. So you're guaranteed to make it to at least third. But then you have this like long layover time where you're just mostly reffing games.
Yeah.
The other team is like getting fired up as they crawl back through the losers bracket. So it's obviously not an advantage because you want to stay in the winners bracket as long as you can because that's how you win the tournament, obviously. But it's like, I don't know. Sometimes you get a little bit fired coming up from the bottom side of the bracket. So
Yeah.
Anyway, great team. Great team.
Great team.
Take note away from them.
Another great team. And we'll hire Dan and we'll bring this up here. Let's talk about these guys.
Hidden Valley Sanch.
These assholes. These assholes.
I really
How many players do they roster here? What's going on?
I really like this photo.
They rostered all of them.
The reason I like this photo is because it shows it shows like how family centric this team is, if you know what I mean. Like I there's what 9 people in this photo, 10 people, 9 people.
There's 9 full-size people and one micro-sized person.
We'll talk about Sanch that way. That's not nice.
But this team, not only were they great in their home arena, but they kind of they're of that old school like family kind of vibe, which like I don't know, I felt like we kind of had I've seen it at other sites, and I don't know if it's that way now at a lot of places, but these people have been playing this game together so long with each other. You know, they've entered into relationships with each other. They have families. Like it's awesome to see, and like they really had
the
like
literal multi-generational photo of Syracuse players.
Yeah. Real quick as well, can I give a real quick shout out to Ruth? And I'll do this on my thank yous at the end, but Ruth was kind of my willing gopher all week. She went and like made sure that I was looked after all week, and nice. I wouldn't have been as comfortable with how things were going without her. So massive shout out to her. Real quick, the Synergy was nice on the bottom bracket, but we'll say we really wanted to get one more match against Q's A. So we didn't get it. Felt like with every game we were getting closer and closer to beating them. To your point, I guess, DK. Like
it was literally true. Like every match they played against Syracuse A, they got closer and closer and closer until it again, any elimination on either side would have tilted that match in the last one. And
they got so close. Oh
God,
they got close.
Utah kind of had them on the ropes the second game, but again, being able to control the field and just sort of outlast. Syracuse really seems like a very fast speedball type of maze, but you can really slow down the pace of play to a crawl there if you position people correctly. So it's really it's interesting to me every year in finals how much you see the game slow down and teams being much more careful, much more calculated now they're approaching things because you don't want to overextend and just have your back line crumple, that kind of thing. So seeing those really high level matches, like that's the special sauce that makes nationals so great, is seeing top level teams really making these kind of minute adjustments in what are really slugfests. It's like seeing like a great NBA finals game that's like 91-87. Like if you were watching a game in the NBA that was like that on a random Wednesday night, like that's boring. That people didn't score enough. But when it's like knife's edge, you're edging toward, it's toward finals. There's all kinds of factors that are going into this. Both teams are exhausted. Like that's really exciting that it just stays close the entire time. Even if they don't score a ton of points, like it's really interesting to watch the adjustments that they make.
That's an interesting comment there. Cody said, got full right before Abby died, saw the lights were still red and pulled back entirely not to keep leading points. What is saw the lights were red?
So on the Syracuse lighting, there's track lighting along the ceiling either side of the field that has the color of whoever is leading in the match. So there's red lights when red team is leading, there's blue lights when blue team is leading. So it's very easy to know if you're up or down at a given point. I mean, obviously you judge the flow of the game. You can hear the PA
Yeah.
sometimes, but to be honest, I feel like the PA doesn't talk about like who's leading as much as it used to. Maybe
Yeah.
that's just a perception thing.
It feels like it's like twice a game or something. Like, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
So I don't know what brings it on, but yeah, there were many times throughout the week where it's like being aware and like being able to check the track lighting, especially toward the end of the game, and making your strategy adjustments off of that were definitely really important things.
Was that something everyone got told about?
I hope so.
Was that something that happened in the captain's meeting?
I hope so. I think so.
Weren't
I
you
think
in the
everybody knew
captain's
that.
meeting? Because that's massive.
I feel like I've lost a lot of chunks of what happened during the week. So I will check my notes because I did take notes during the captain's meeting.
Yeah, that's a huge one. I didn't know that was a thing.
And I know there was also an arena walkthrough for new players, so I am very confident that Cody or Beans or somebody mentioned that during
Interesting.
the week.
King was
I'm pretty confident.
Simon was never told. Shenanigans here. Feel like there's some shenanigans. I wasn't told either. That's interesting. Huh? Yeah, I would take it up with the TD. Yeah, massive congratulations to the Syracuse A team. Like they were really good all week. They had a couple of like dust ups. But everything you were never told. But everything, like, again, so there were some stuff, like some drama, I'd say. I'm loath to use the word drama because it wasn't anything major, but anything that happened was kept in their team. You know what I mean? Like nothing spilled out. They didn't take anything out on other people. We'll talk about the hosts with like the job that Beans and Sanch did hosting everyone in a minute, but it felt like they just kind of they gave each other a hard time because they kind of hold each other to a very, very high standard. Like Britain unfortunately didn't get to play.
Yeah.
But when he did,
I was really glad he showed up during the
same.
week, though, given that he'd had a bit of a health scare the week before. Like, I'm really stoked he's able to make it out. It does suck that he wasn't able to play, but I'm glad at least came to like hang out with people. But
like, so he took his team to task. Like he was like, no, what are you dummies doing? Like, you need to sort this shit out. Like, that's not good enough. And so even he was in that leadership role, being like, no, we as
player
a
coach,
we expect better, like from ourselves. And I talked to him afterwards. He was gutted that he didn't get to play, and he said, "Look, I don't feel like I didn't win anything." I was like, "Nah, that's bullshit. Like you were part of this team in the lead up. You trained with this team. I saw the way that he spoke to his team during the week. I was like, you're a part of this win. Like, you don't take yourself out of that. This is part. You contributed to the win. You didn't play the tournament, unfortunately, but you definitely are part of this team and deserve like to be on any banner that gets hung as champions."
Absolutely.
I don't know if we could have won because I'm sure QZ had some crazy home field advantage strategies up their sleeve to take us by surprise. That would have been cool. It's his name that stays on the banner. Abby's tape will fall off eventually. How cool though to be able to be like, well, I can't play the tournament because of my health issues, but guess who's taking my place? My better half. That's really awesome.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Which again, like, kind of speaks again to the real family vibe that this team have.
And Abby crushed it, slotted in, no problem, seamless transition. We're just like, okay, what's the game plan? All right, let's go.
Dude, you could hear her voice ringing out through the arena during games, like call outs, all that stuff. So yeah, it was awesome to see.
Hopefully there's not any kind of feeling that Beans doesn't get the credit that he deserves, because I think people know that Beans is like a great player, like still one of the top players in the US, but just in case, like absolutely crushed.
He's washed
as a scout throughout the week, like very deserving MVP scout, and didn't have to play like the glory role or whatever to really do work for his team. So it was impressive that both him and Black Hammer also had a ton of buy-in for what their position was, because both of them were capable of just being like, I'm just going to go attack the other team constantly and just put as much pressure on them as I can. Both of them played under control. They made sure that they were controlling traffic in the arena. They were checking back in with their resupply. They were being in supportive roles to taking nothing away from Cody. Cody had a fantastic tournament
Except
with an
for that last
amazing
game.
commander. But it's a lot easier to do your job when everybody is backing you up and dedicated to getting you into good situations so you can excel, so you can break the back line and get a ton of meta kits as he did. So again, you have to come through in the end, but if you have your team helping you, it makes your job so much easier.
I thought
It's funny how that's like a consistent thing across so many other things that are not just laser tag.
Right?
I thought Cody copped a little bit of shit unnecessarily from his team. It seems to be the dynamic, I guess, but I think his team were
Every year.
every year. He sort of, there was talks of him stat padding, yada yada, and then Beans came out and chained 5, and I was like, nah, go fuck yourself, Beans. You don't get to talk about Cody at all.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, like that also, I think, does speak to some credit on Cody's part to be able to maintain your mental even when like your the other members of your team, like your own worst critics,
Yeah.
sometimes that it's like you stay focused and get the job done.
Yeah.
Because not everybody handles that pressure the same. Like some people, it's like you may need the softer touch when you're in a tournament to try to bring the best out of somebody. But
The glory roll,
Cody
if you
does.
will.
Yeah, Cody does the job, whether he's appreciated or not. So good on you, Cody.
You're right, Black Emma. It is a real shame we don't have the step count on the old scoreboard. And I have had chats. I did ask the top brass if they had ever considered creating a stream friendly scoreboard, because I think from a esports perspective that would be a relatively low stress, easy enough thing to do, but I got told no. So going forwards, we just kind of have to I don't know. I do want to talk about the stream. Maybe we don't talk about it today, but I do want to talk about people's kind of feedback and what people enjoyed, what they didn't like about it, like things that I could have done better, all that sort of stuff. So maybe we'll do that.
The only thing that I would like to say about that now, just before I forget, is I thought the stream was amazing. I'm not really the biggest fan of the lobby cam. I kind of would prefer not to see that at subsequent events. Now, I may just be speaking for myself here. If I'm speaking out of turn, then I'll put this aside. But I kind of already feel like we're surveilled enough on a day-to-day basis that it's like we have the cameras in the arena. That's enough. When players are having their own kind of personal time out in the lobby, I don't necessarily think that's something that needs to be broadcast to the internet. Like, I understand the purpose was to try to capture reactions like after a big play or after a win, something like that kind of thing. But if you're just sitting there trying to watch the game, or you're, God forbid, changing your shoes or something like that, and the camera it's just up, like I don't know, something about that just it doesn't quite sit right. It doesn't quite sit right with me.
I get it. I think probably, and again, we'll talk about this probably when we talk about the stream stuff. But I think the better way to do it, because it was something that I added last minute, and therefore didn't really get like consent, or at least like sign off from the captains as a whole. And to your point, Leech, just don't sit there. Like, that wouldn't have been a problem if we'd have talked about it ahead of time. So if people knew, because I added the camera in last minute, we didn't talk about it, and so people weren't immediately aware that it was going to be a thing. Just don't sit there. It doesn't really, come into it.
That's the most logical place to sit anyway. You want to watch what's going on the scoreboard. Right. That's where you're going to naturally congregate.
I think the other thing is we try to use it sparingly, to your point, to only have like the reactions from like big wins.
Yeah, you didn't use it a lot, but I was noticing on some of the VODs that it's like sometimes that was just running if we were kind of like in between games, the lobby camera would just kind of be on and people would just be walking around chatting, doing whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, that's something that we can definitely do better or differently, or find a way around it. Maybe we have like a dedicated scoreboard area that we have two, one where people can go watch without without having to worry about picking their nose or whatever, and then a second one that hopefully captures some of that stuff. But yeah, I hear you. I understand. I think we didn't do a good enough job kind of like talking about it with anyone first. I just kind of did it, which is not really the best way to do things.
Do a thing.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're not running my Airbnb.
I had a camera there too, but that's the same reason, like at one point, unfortunately, Ghost had an incident in the maze, and it's the same reason why we didn't linger on those cameras, because it's not a thing that people need to be watching. Yeah. Think of it like a crowd at other sporting events. It's not like they don't show up on camera sometimes. Yeah, but people know that that's always a thing that could potentially happen. And I think, like, it's not something that we talked about ahead of time. So it was more me being like, oh, it would be really cool to have people feel like they're there. Because I think
there just needs to be a discussion about it. That's all. Again, if I'm in the minority, that's fine. Like, I understand, but as long as everybody's like, or at least a majority of the community is on board with that, and there's an understanding ahead of time, this is what's going to happen.
I took the choice away from people, and which is not good. That people need to like have a say in like how they get broadcast. Yeah. Obviously, the production team do more. Maybe in the future, you could play highlights from games as filler. Yeah, so that is something we've talked about going forwards. Yeah, like we are in the process of like maybe building a production team out to take on these. Like, we kind of already have one, but I think like going forward, having specific roles for people, in the production side of things. But again, we'll talk about this stuff maybe next week after, when we talk about the stream, because I am very much keen to hear people's opinions on how we can make this stuff better, things we can do differently. My shortcomings as a broadcaster.
I wish there were many.
Oh, yeah, fuck you.
Hey, I'm screaming continuously for 12 hours a day. What the fuck are you guys expecting? Miracles?
It's so brutal. It's so brutal. Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well done, Syracuse A. Well, probably. Well done, Syracuse A. Very, very good, deserved win. You guys should be very proud of yourselves. But I think everyone else should be proud of themselves as well. Because it's not like they were runaway favorites. They were the favorites throughout the week. They put on a good showing for most of the week, but they did get exposed in some games, which, from a spectator's perspective, definitely want to see more of that. Yeah. You love when the favorites, get upset or, have hardship. It's a bit of an experience.
It's also nice, it's nice when both these things happen. It's nice when teams don't end up on 0 points, and that did not happen this year. Both, ninth and 10th place tied overall on 6 points. Cool. Like, nobody got zeroed. And having had the experience of being zeroed, it fucking sucks.
It really sucks.
So the fact that nobody got zeroed this year, cool. And then the fact that the team that won didn't come through unscathed. Like, it was not a perfect tournament. They had game loss in round one. They had game loss in round two, and they lost, and they had game loss during the finals. So, that's the you can't really ask for much more than that in terms of like overall competition level.
It was a competition.
Yeah.
Last year was a coronation. This was a competition.
Well, that's so good. That's fucking awesome.
That's pretty accurate. I would like to argue with you, but I can't. So I'm not going to.
All right. Individual awards. We want to rattle through them quickly.
Yeah. Let's go through quickly. So sorry that took so long. All right. So the MVP team, the statistically best players in each position. A note for this year, because there was a little bit extra invested. People who won the statistical MVP awards were not eligible to win the voted awards, which might be something that's just worth talking about sometime down the line about whether or not that's a good system. But interesting to see this year. So anyway, statistical MVP team: Commander Oguri Cap, aka Cody. Heavy was Snuffles. Scouts were Beans and the Merlin. That's Sanch. And then Ammo and Medic was Mr. Mischief and Fear Turkey, respectively. So their hyper aggressive resupply play definitely showed up in the stat sheet.
It's funny how that works.
Mm-hmm. Other statistical stuff, the Bomb Diffuser Award for most nukes canceled was a tie between Slaughtermetal and Glader. I think they had 4 apiece.
Considering Glader played half the tournament at Ammo, that's pretty awesome.
I think he actually got. I think he actually
did.
got 2 of them at Ammo.
Yeah.
Like he got 2 at Heavy and 2 at Ammo, I think.
So good.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 1 at Heavy that I didn't even remember. One of the games I played Heavy, I got a nuke cancel. I had no recollection of this ever happened. I maybe didn't even clock it in the game. I was like, oh, I actually have 1.
Yay.
Anyway. Yeah, yay for me.
Huzzah.
That's something, right? Golden Gun was Fear Turkey, so deadly and accurate. Medic Killer was Cody in kind of a runaway performance on Medic Killer. Certainly on average medic hits, had a really outstanding tournament there. And same thing for individual overall MVP on a stats basis was also Cody. Melted Gun, and I can't remember if we define it by lowest accuracy or most shots fired, but that was Ender this year. Another Ammo, no surprise. The All-Star voted positions this year: Commander, Slaughtermelon. That's got to be a couple consecutive ones, I think, for him. Heavy was Black Hammer. Scouts were Evil and Prawn Boy. So Prawn Boy, not that you didn't play Scout great this year, but that's definitely a makeup award for last year as well, because you deserved an All-Star Scout last year. So glad you have one. And then Ammo Medic was Do Not Pasco and Princess, the resupply pairing for Syracuse A. So very deserving award winners there. It really stood out to me like how many teams had really great resupply players this year. That is, again, something that I think has really advanced in recent years, and sort of the newest version of the meta is that the resupply is way more involved in the action of the game. Because I think there kind of used to be a mentality of, well, resupply players, they stay on the back line, they give everybody else lives and shots, and that's their job. But it's like, if you don't have a resupply who is capable of engaging in the game, of making independent decisions, of scoring points when needed, when aiding the offense, and occasionally holding the defense by themselves while the heavy is out, you're not going to be able to compete against the very top level teams. So the fact that it's like Meds and Chaser, I thought were an absolutely amazing resupply combo as well. And they didn't win MVP or All-Star awards because of how many really great resupply players there were at the tournament. It takes nothing away from them, but it's like there were a lot of great resupply players at the tournament. And that's like, it's cool to see. It's cool to see how the game's advancing there. Sportsmanship voted was Skills. No surprise there. I mean, we talked about having Stu and Fox on your team. You're going to have a good time there. Imagine having Skills and Redneck Tech on your team. That's going to be a good time too. I mean, that's just like that's so much positive energy. It might make me sick, actually.
I got to hang out with
too wholesome.
I got to hang out with Skills for basically a whole extra week because we went on a road trip through Massachusetts and then down into New York with myself and Stu, and we had some hangers-oners as well. Cody came with us to Mass, but yeah, I was very stoked to make a new friend, and yeah, we got to have some really good hangs like throughout our road trip, and yeah, it was cool to get to know the guy. So
yeah, cool dude.
Hopefully we get to see him around a little bit more at these tournaments. Kind of cool.
I think we will. I think he might have the bug now. I think he might be in on Laserforce tournament.
It's the best one.
That'll be good to see.
It's the best one.
Rookie of the year, I think I mentioned.
He's hooked.
Rookie of the year, I think I mentioned earlier, was Spooky, very deserving from Sweets and Savory.
Yeah.
Ender also would have been a great recipient for this award. Ender technically a Nats rookie, although like Ender's played a couple of tournaments at this point, so
Halange as well, or
Halange,
Halange.
great tournament. Great tournament for them as well. So
Yeah.
again, great stuff from that team. For rookies, they perform super admirably.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other stuff. I don't remember if there were trophies for all of these things. Best hit diff in the tournament went to Evol, who split his time between scout and medic. So good at not getting shot in both those positions. The medic on medic killer was also Fear Turkey. So
Obviously.
he was just doing all the medic things. Do all the things.
So much medic on medic crime.
Well, I think averaged 0.8 medikits a game or something crazy.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Getting almost one medic at a game as medic.
What a jerk.
It's just absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, calm your farm, Josiah. Was that all? Was that all the awards?
I think that's pretty much it. Oh, and the negative 24K award penalties went to Rooks. We already talked about that.
I don't like. Let me just pull up on my soapbox again. I don't like awards that promote shit stats or bad play. So that one, having the most nukes diffused, the worst accuracy, all that shit. Like, there should not be trophies for that garbage. Get out of here.
There's certainly not trophies I want on my shelf.
No. No. I think it just promotes bad play, because I've seen people try and get melted gun in the past and really bum me out. Because
you shouldn't be trying for it.
Nah, beans. You shouldn't be trying for it, beans.
Yeah. Well, especially, I mean, with the IR nowadays, it might be too dangerous to shoot to the ground. You probably bounce a shot and like go off 2 walls and suddenly hit your medic who's down. And you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but there's another trophy for that, so who cares? Most friendly medic kills.
There were 2 own missile onto their own player, missile onto their own teammate that happened during the week. So that was a little surprising to see in a tournament, but I guess that's what happens when you roster 7. You forget who's on your team.
One was, and I got it sort of explained to me, but I think one was Leech on Prawn Boy.
What an idiot.
And they were saying that during my commentary, I missed the fact that it was a friendly missile, and they said I made the comment like, "Oh, Prawn Boys had a pretty quiet start to this game," and they were like, "Yeah, that's why, because Leech missiled him." But yeah, anyway, wouldn't want anything to bounce off the ceiling or anything. Yeah, exactly right. Ugh. You're a masochist yourself, so those trophies would look great. No, Gabe, no, you don't want it.
That's a bad game.
Bad
game.
Yeah.
That leads to the dark side.
Your proposal for future that stats based. Oh my gosh. I have a proposal for the future that stats based tournament MVP shouldn't be the player with the highest MVP, but should instead be the player who is the farthest ahead of their team's average MVP.
Interesting. We can have that discussion on a different show.
Leech missiled him because he was having a quiet start. He's like, "Yeah, I got to get in this game somehow. I got to hang on. Let me just see if I can do this. Oh no, I can. Cool. I got this.
Let me just cost my team 600 points."
Yeah. All right. How do you want to end today? What do you want to talk about to end out this podcast? Because obviously we've been going for almost a couple of hours.
Yeah. I mean, you knew it was going to be a long one. It's the
100%.
recap.
Yeah.
Well, I do want to get to the thank yous. I think we should probably close out on that. In terms of what I had on the looking ahead list, there are a couple of proposed, but as of yet, no details events for possibly something happening in Syracuse in early November, possibly something happening in Loveland next February, most likely. I think Czechia, like Tomika, is hosting a tournament like next / this month, I guess, if you are already in the Australasian time zone. This month, I think they're doing like attempting to do a proper international rules SM5 tournament. I would assume as a prelude to potentially hosting an internationals next year, but
yeah,
we'll see. That's a conversation for a later time.
Yeah, just as a TLDR, there is talks of Nats going to Europe next year. It'll be Gen 7, but it will likely be the international rule set. New Zealand / Auckland have thrown their hat in the ring to host within the next 1 to 2 years. So if the community as a whole decide they, don't want to go to Europe or whatever, then maybe we look at New Zealand. So it's conversations that need to happen. I'm not actually a part of those anymore. Maybe I need to rectify that.
Well,
maybe
if you want to throw your hat in the ring for hosting, you might need to do a little on that front.
Yeah, we've talked about it already, and there are people that are keen to come out here. But yeah,
I mean, to be fair, it's New Zealand. We're always fucking keen to come.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not gonna have a. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, so at some point within the next 1 to 2 years, that'll be happening. And if we don't host Nats next year, then there has been questions around maybe doing like a funsies tournament here again, like essentially a far east coast tournament, or however you want to kind of put that. But yeah, we might look to host an event next year regardless.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right. On to the thank yous. Yep. Because there are definitely people that need to be thanked for how well things ran 2 weeks ago.
So obviously, apologies to anybody who I leave out. I'm not going to leave out anybody intentionally. Obviously, massive thanks goes to Sanch for opening his site to all of us crazy people who want to come and play laser tag for a week. I don't know another site owner who would have been generous enough to give us a 6th day for the tournament for us to actually be able to play into the Saturday.
Yeah,
but
again, especially with that, literally with that 6th day being a Saturday.
Yeah.
A fucking Saturday, like.
But also on top of that, like he also opened up his doors for the Sunday and the Saturday before that as well, with Armageddon, Armageddon and the training nights. Like, what a legend! What an absolute legend.
Yeah. Now, I mean, we can say it's their slow season or whatever, which summer is for them, but still, that does represent an actual potential loss of revenue, and that is just a really great act of community service from someone who's done a lot for this community. So
yeah,
I really do tip my hat to Sanch. Again, anything else that's like going wrong in my head right now, it has nothing to do with the tournament you guys hosted. You did a fantastic job. And then a huge thanks obviously goes to Beans as the principal tournament coordinator for this and arranging like the catering and the award center, the sponsorships, all that kind of stuff. Like that was a ton of work that went into that. So massive shout out to Beans for sure.
Yeah. He every time I saw him, if he wasn't playing, he was working, and he basically worked the entire week to make sure that everyone had a good time. Sponsors of the tournament were appeased. Yeah, the dude's a legend. Do you count as a coordinator from the Giddon team? No.
Well, and I mean, and arranging stuff like having Geddon be able to lead into Nats for players who wanted to play both, which definitely there were some players who did.
Yeah.
And then also having like the laser ball as another event. Also want to thank this guy who's up here for, doing all that commentary, being a crazy person coming to a laser tag tournament and then not playing laser tag and just talking to a microphone all week.
I mean,
weirdo, but we love you.
Couldn't have done that without the help again of Beans, the Fun Warehouse, Snap 24/7 Fitness, and Caleb, because they basically paid for my flights to come out. And without that, like, it wouldn't have been possible. So thank you guys for making that happen, because boy, was it a dream come true to be in the booth for an event. It was awesome. Yeah, although I did get a little bit of FOMO.
And to all the guest commentators who came on throughout the week as well, up to and including, I know, Baden and Scythe came on for a little bit. So even though they didn't play the tournament, they also got to comment on it.
So just quickly on that, and I'll try not to interject too much, but on that, all the people that came on and guest commentated with me absolutely killed it. Everyone, I was really worried going into the tournament because I didn't want to have it where we've had it in the past where people come on and we just talk about like nothing,
Dumb
you
shit,
know, and
basically.
yeah, we just get fixated on chat or whatever. Like everyone that came into the booth came in understanding what was needed and absolutely killed it. It was really impressive. So thank you to everyone that,
Yeah,
that
from a viewer perspective, like that was admittedly something I was worried about as a viewer perspective because yeah, we have had some we've definitely had some history over the last couple of years of, you know, yeah, people on the mic not understanding the assignment in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form, and it's just like, really? But yeah, literally, I'm for the amount of the tournament that I watched, and it was a lot of it. It wasn't all of it, but it was a pretty disproportionate amount. Yeah, like everybody who came on understood the assignment, and it was great.
Yeah.
And Steve bro, like, you know, DK, thank you. I'm gonna thank you as well because I don't. I think people have they have at least a rough idea maybe of how difficult it actually is to basically talk for 12 straight hours, but I don't think they actually fully comprehend like just how difficult that is because we can be interesting between the three of us on a podcast for like 45 minutes to an hour. We can, or you know, this week 2 hours because of the topic.
Because we actually have a topic. You know?
Because we actually have a topic, and we've got the consistent bounce off each other, and so we know how to be entertaining between the three of us. But I don't think people like understand like how difficult it is to be entertaining by yourself for an extended period when you're, you know, commentating on a thing that's happening. It gets a little easier generally when you've got
Much
somebody in
easier.
the booth with you and you can and you can, you know, bounce back and forth a bit, and you know, the people are understanding the assignment for sure. But yeah, for you to basically do like, you know, 10 to 12 hours a day for fucking 6 days straight, um to entertain those of us that weren't there, like, yeah, bro, it was fucking massive. And, you know, and thank you for doing it. I mean, I know that you had help getting there to be able to do it from there, but you know, how great to be able to do it from there instead of like doing it from where you are now, which, I mean, you've done that.
This was
And it does
better.
have well, and it does have the advantage of when you're done, you can, you know, sleep in your own bed, you know, that is kind of nice. But being able to be there and like act and get people on the mic with you in person and be able to be a little more intertwined with what's happening, like, yeah, just thank you for doing the thing. It's fucking awesome. And yeah, thank you to all the sponsors that enabled you to get there. Like,
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Well, we finished and got next door to Hazel's. Yes, we did. that was very very, very fun having the bar next door. Thank you for saying that. Appreciate it. And thank you to anyone else that said nice things to me during the week. Hopefully I was able to kind of hopefully I was able to yeah, make it somewhat entertaining. It's difficult, but I love it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Glad you enjoyed it.
It was great.
Well, since Aiden's here in chat, I'll go ahead and make sure that I get the shout out now to Autumn and Aiden for bringing so much cool merch. I definitely bought a few more items for my laser tag wardrobe, which at this point I think is actually larger than my non-laser tag wardrobe. If you just count up all the shirts and whatnot that I have.
It's awesome.
They even they've upgraded to having socks that are available now.
Yeah.
So as soon as
Really?
they have some SM5 boxers, I will have every article of clothing will be covered for laser tag stuff. I even bought some off-season gear because I know I'm gonna want it when the weather gets cool again and it's not fucking 42 degrees outside Celsius.
You should put a big C on the front of the boxes, a big Commander logo right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
The big C on the
The,
box.
the big
Okay.
C.
Mhm. Sure.
Thanks. I feel really bad about this. I don't know exactly what Gabe did, but I know he was helping out with the
Oh.
technical side of stuff, so I wanted to give a shout out to
So-
him.
So
He was doing
actually,
so much work that I had no idea what it was.
so Gabe reprogrammed the scoreboard images and the footer stuff, and like we repurposed all of that stuff. We also did all the player profile images, did a bunch of the like the other tech stuff that I did. Don't lie. He worked very hard in the lead up, and like that production team, you know, yeah, we'll give them shout outs once you've done yours. But yeah, Gabe was massively helpful. When I'd have like an issue, I'd be the first person. I'd be like, well, can someone go get Gabe for me? I need Gabe. Please go find him. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that Gabe did during the week. That's his baby.
Excellent.
Nice job, Gabe.
Excellent.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well, we already mentioned, but we'll do an additional shout out to Ruth and also to Kelly for being the official tournament cat herders and getting everybody into the field on time. There were other people who helped out with this, but certainly those two did the lion's share of the work. And I know you said that Ruth did a lot to help you out and make sure that you had stuff that you
Coffee
needed.
every
So
day,
having
sandwiches, like yeah, it was so good.
so having helpers to like keep things running smoothly, like it's really essential to have, and that can be a difficult and thankless job. So I want to make sure that it doesn't stay a thankless job by saying that we really do appreciate that as a community, because that is stuff that needs to be done, but it's so much easier when it's somebody who's not also worried about playing, reffing, broadcasting, doing any of those things. It's a big ask, but it is super, super helpful for the community. So thank you to both Ruth and Kelly for that. Also to Tivia, who I know also helped out on the media side of things. Did a couple of game commentaries with you during the week, as I recall. Yeah, Steve?
Who was that? Sorry, or just reading
Tivia?
chat? Oh yeah. So she was nervous because she was like, obviously, like I played laser tag, but I'm not the most like knowledgeable Space Marines player. But I thought she did really well.
Yeah. Well, she's got the banter side of things down. Like as another podcast host, like you two can find things to talk about, even if it's like it's not always game related. Like and that's what you need. You need the banter. The banter is as important as calling good play by play.
Yeah.
And the fact that she is, legitimately media trained and actually has, done radio work like on actual terrestrial radio. Like there is a reason why her podcast sounds so much more professional than ours does.
One of
the reasons.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons.
But yeah, like
broadcast professional, absent-minded professor.
Tag for a cause again. tag for a cause again was incredible, and like yeah, the amount of money that she spearheaded this community raising really warms my cockles when people kind of dig deep and get behind a cause that somebody's working so hard to kind of promote. So yeah, it was
and we
really
have
cool.
a very, very nice, very generous community that has helped out with those charity events, whether they've been charity streams that you've run, whether they've been tagged for a cause events, things that we've done here. So I'm certainly happy to see that. That people are really involved. Like that's what makes us a community as a whole is also engagement with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I also just like Hitivia, if you're watching this, like I also want to say I'm sorry because I feel like you were kind of trying to talk to me at laser tag after the awards dinner, and I was just out of it. Like I had run down my battery for the week. So not just Tivia, but for anybody else, I know I kind of like did the whole Irish goodbye thing and just sort of ended up leaving at one point.
Yeah, left without saying goodbye to me.
Yeah,
like, where did DK go?
I honestly, I feel super bad about that. But
you should.
Just like I ran my reserves down to
nothing.
That was the other like announcement is I'm probably going to take a little bit of time away from the podcast, which I told you guys. It might be short term. It might be. I got some things I gotta sort out.
Sort out.
Anyway, back to the thank yous. Again, all of the, not just the guest commentators, but also guest refs that we had that helped absorb a little bit of the extra responsibilities in the last days. Like Micro and Shayla came in for a little bit. Baden, Matty Hartz from Syracuse showed up. So just to have a couple of extra refs that are in there in cases where either we needed a substitute or you maybe just needed another set of eyes in the field. That's also really helpful. And it's special thanks to all of the, if not medical, like medical adjacent professionals for helping with various injuries and ailments. I know Cope had a bad collision at one point during the week. They had kind of be helped out of the arena. We had a very nice moment of Fenrir helping to carry Jarrett out of the field, officer and gentleman style. So good on you for that, Brendan. But Fenrir, Alex Boxes, Disco, like people who at least have like a background for doing like firefighter, EMT, registered nurse, any of that kind of stuff. Like, fortunately, nothing too serious happened, but it is good to have people on site that can at least kind of like snap it at emergency and not freak out if something goes wrong. Because fortunately, everything was under control.
Yes.
I think that's mostly it. But no thanks to the building maintenance people and the weather for causing a flood in the arena. Y'all can get the fuck out of here with that.
I'm going to add very quickly, and again, apologies if we as a collective forget to thank anyone that we should, but big thank you to CompGeek. CompGeek from Melbourne, basically, he was in charge of the production last year, and again was a massive help for me working through all of the stuff that needed doing on the production software again this year. Like I said, we are looking to build like a little production team. He will be very much a part of that team going forward. Massive thanks to Luke for all the player interviews and all the very last minute video that I got Traj to work on for us. For anyone who hasn't seen it,
so good.
Oh man,
That
I'm
video
tearing
was
up already.
so good.
The first time I watched it, I legit got so misty. So shout out to Traj for again, like on a whim, I sent him a message. I was like, hey, look, I've got this monologue. I was going to do it, but I think it'd kind of be better coming from you. And I thought he was just going to record it, and he did a full like proper setup, and he recorded it, and then Luke added a couple of final touches and some editing to it, and it was so good. So thank you to those guys for doing that. That video is so good. If you haven't seen it, I believe it's on the Laserforce Tournaments page. It got uploaded there, so if you want to see, go there and watch it.
And it's interspersed with
the streams. Yeah. Are we trying to do
that's
it
the
at
only
least
other
twice
comment.
a day?
That's another comment is Beans or whoever's responsible for that. You need to fix the labels on the VODs because they're a fucking mess right now.
Oh yeah, right now they're manic. I was kind of hoping, I was like, maybe just take everything down and re-upload some definitive edited versions.
As long as you have the raw files, just don't lose those.
Don't lose the raw files. I don't know if he still has them. He should do. But yeah, just to your point before, Leech, you said in there that the more creative player highlights in the future. If you as a community want to see that stuff, we have to have that stuff well in advance. Like, you kind of need to send that through. If Nats is in like mid to late July / early August, we need all of that stuff in by the end of June. Like, it makes life so much easier for Luke, who has to edit all of that. And I think it really adds to the build up. It adds to the production. So, and like, it's just cool to get to know players and like hear their takes on their teams, get to know their sense of humor, learn a little bit about a player that you otherwise don't know anything about. Like, all that stuff is really good flavor for the end product. So if you want to see more of that stuff, get in and really make the effort to do it, because I think it's worth the effort. But yeah, thank you to Luke for all the work that you do. There was one other person I wanted to thank. can't remember who it is, but that's okay. Anyone
But
that,
you know who you are.
you know you are. Anyone that made the week as awesome as it was, which was pretty much everyone. It was really cool to meet a bunch of people I hadn't met yet. It was cool to see a bunch of people that I haven't seen in a while. Cool to catch up with old friends. You regret not sending one in as a rookie. Now you know, going forwards. They're definitely worthwhile putting together, because Luke does a really good job at cutting them up and making them look really, really good. So
Yeah, he does.
Thank you to Azel's Pub. I had a minty drink called a Rumpelstiltskin, something like that. Rumpel's Mints, I think. Whatever Rumpel's
Rumple
Mints.
your still skin.
That shit was delicious. Yeah. Shout out. Rumpel's Mints. That's the one.
Plus, they
Yeah.
let us use their bathroom when Syracuse had to remodel all their toilets at the same time.
Oh, really?
Thanks, guys.
Did you say the nice bar lady? I didn't meet her. I did meet the owner, though.
Shocking.
That wasn't the nice bar lady, I guess.
She was awesome, actually. She was really, really cool. Got to bring a Discord basket here. Oh, yeah. Thank you to everyone who come and played all the additional stuff. So everyone who got behind the Highlander tournament, anyone who got behind the Laserball tournament, anyone who played Armageddon, anyone who came out and played Disc Golf with us. All that stuff. Again, it's all flavor. It's all flavor to add to your Nats experience. I really hope that people who hadn't experienced Nats before really got a good taste of what Nats could be, because this one was a real good one to be a part of. And anyone that's looking to host tournaments going ahead, I highly recommend you take the good parts of this tournament and try and make them a part of yours. Stuff like we had a social event at the Loveland House. We went and hung out there. Like, that was really cool. The hangouts at the bar, and again, it doesn't always have to be booze related, but it helped. The stuff at the bar was really fun. The awards ceremony was awesome. The hangout afterwards back at Tag was something I've never experienced before in the 30 years that I played this game. And what I mean by that is it felt like a house party. It felt like a house party that also had Laserforce, which was incredible. The quality of the tag, not super great, but that's okay, because that wasn't what the vibe called for.
Absolutely not.
It was really, really awesome, and like maybe a little bit unhinged at times, but for the most part, really, really good night. So, yeah,
I regret not being a part of the shenanigans too.
Yeah, I think going forward, I'd kind of thought about your particular situation, and I think I don't think it would have worked anyway, just given the mindset that you were in going into the tournament and how things kind of played out. Shit happens.
Maybe.
I really wish we got one night though. Just one night. Just one.
I had a really nice time the Wednesday night when we went out to Wildcat. I thought that was a really good social outing.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Yeah. It was great. It was really, really great. All right. Any final thoughts, gentlemen, before we end this mammoth podcast?
I missed all your faces.
We missed yours too.
I genuinely missed everybody's face, and I really wish I'd been able to make it.
Let Than be a cautionary tale for all of you out there. If you're able to go, you probably should. I mean, only if you're able to. If you're unable to, Dan was obviously unable to go, which is a real shame. Yeah. But if you're able to go, consider going. It's
you probably won't regret it.
Probably.
In the short term, especially, you probably won't regret it.
Cool. All right. Well, look, we will probably be back next week. At the very least, it'll be me and Than will be back. As DK said, who knows? Maybe this is your last one. Maybe you're retiring. retiring. Everyone loves to throw around that word. Maybe you're
You
retiring
will
from the
realize
pod.
that I did not drop the R word once in this entire conversation. I have no. This is not a retirement type speech. This is a.
Take
I
some
don't know what
time,
this is,
speech.
but
Sabbatical.
yeah, but I am interested in playing like some of the upcoming events. It's just yeah, I don't know. Took a lot out of me, I guess.
Yeah. We will hopefully be back next week with we'll talk about the stream in a little bit more detail. Hopefully by that time the naming conventions have been sorted out, and part of that is my fault because of reasons. I blame Gabe. Actually, it's all Gabe's fault.
Yeah,
Now the
let's blame
truth comes
Gabe.
out.
Yeah,
That's cool.
that's what Gabe did. Nothing but fuck ups is what Gabe did. Just jokes. But yeah, we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about the next little while. Hopefully, if Lenny is still around, we'll do some sort of LFDGA pod finally, and we can talk about our new crowned champion skills. Oh my god! Turns out he's fucking awesome at disc golf. If I'd have known that, definitely wouldn't have gone on the road trip with him. No. Say that for we get skills and still as well. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. We'll do us four. We'll leave these two at home.
Absolutely. I have no interest
Get
in
these
being on
legs
this
out of here.
podcast.
Anything else you guys want to add to?
Nah, I think we've covered the things, bro.
Sick. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We hope that you enjoyed your Nats 2026 experience. I know I did. Fucking awesome. But no dick in his gold. Exactly right. Look, for this week, I have been Guy Next Door.
I've been DK.
And I've been Van.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. We will see you hopefully next week. Ka kite anō.